What's up, guys? Studfit here. Another episode of The Rundown. This episode is about the Mario Tour. That's right, the Mario Tour. Oh man. Hopefully this isn't the most boring episode of The Rundown ever. It's definitely one of the more boring tours. So we'll get into that in a second, but just want to thank you for joining us and supporting the channel. Thank you for those who have subscribed. We are now above 500 subscribers. Woohoo! It's nice to see this is nice gradual growing, but if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, like, share with your friends. That's extremely helpful as we get this information out, but I love just doing this just for myself. The content was originally created just to get an understanding of the meta level strategies, where to allocate tickets, coins, rubies, to be able to have a more successful meta level strategy game. And with that being said, I'm able to enjoy this a little bit more because this content was supported through Marco, aka Raysol. So, in fact, he's from Croatia. This is my Croatia jersey. This is just my little support. Thank you very much, Marco, for helping me out. But essentially, just getting some support to make this a little bit more consistent and hopefully be able to provide this to you a little bit earlier in the week if at all possible. So let's jump right in. First, we get this week one pipe. I mean, I'll start with saying, please do not pull on this pipe. If at all possible, do not pull on this pipe. There's really nothing that great going on in this pipe. First of all, you have 6% odds, not great. You have a driver with triple mushrooms, decent skill, but I think we were hoping for something more, right? So, he looks aesthetically pleasing. He looks very cool, no doubt about that. I think some of us were thinking mushroom cannon. There were other people that were thinking this might have some tie to Pickeroo Toad, and we might have a little bit more of a boomerang type of driver. I never had my hopes up that high, but some were hoping that, and no, not at all. Triple mushroom, the third triple mushroom Mario driver. It doesn't matter. They could have 6 or 7. It would be like really another one, but it is what it is. He looks cool. I'll give him that. And then we have this B-Dasher MK dot space 2. Man, there's so much they could have done with this. It appears that they've gotten extremely lazy with this tour, for what it's worth. In fact, they even give us a super glider, a mushroom glider, as the other third spotlight. They do give us, a second glider as a part of that 6% odds, but man, just don't pull in this pipe. Just please don't. Just don't. As we look at the other items, we do have a decal streamliner and orange streamliner, which we'll get to as we get to that pipe. And then we have the 8-bit fire flower that's in the pack that we'll get to later as well. Being a nostalgic man of the 90s, I do kind of like that fire flower, but really the rest of the items, and some of them look cool. I just won't definitely will not be pulling on this week one pipe. Now, one of the reasons you might be pulling on it is just to get things to level 7. Which, by all means, that makes total sense. And I think it is important to look at what seems to be in these 100 pipes going forward, because they've been adding a lot here recently. Now, when it comes to the drivers, the non-spotlight drivers, we seem to have a little bit more consistency. They've been adding, 1 or 2 each door for the last few tours. So here's the first door that it seems to be, staying the same that we've seen in a while. We do have next week's spotlight drivers, which we'll get to in a second, but this actually looks really nice that we can now have some expectations of what the new normal is coming out of the anniversary and New Year's and all this influx since really the Cat Tour, that they've been going pretty bonkers when it comes to adding new drivers. As for the carts, great carts here. I would say pretty stable here. There's nothing new added. And then you do have some of the next week's spotlights for that. And then we have the gliders. We already talked about the 8-bit glider being now permanent in the pipe. And now we also have it as a potential spotlight for next week. So that 8-bit, it's definitely a nice glider, good to have, and helpful to know it's going to be permanent in that pipe going forward. Now we're talking. Here's a pipe I can get behind. Likely a 12 high-end, 12% pipe. Most likely 444. With a lot of spotlights. This is a great pipe. Now, of course, these items are because they're tied to some of these Tokyo actual, themes. But hey, I mean, these are great items, especially with 12% odds. This is the pipe that I'll definitely be pulling on in addition to the special pipe. But you got Mario Hukama, Mario SNES, Mario Happy, and those are all good, along with their carts and gliders. I think it's definitely nice to have that Kabuki Dasher, if you can get that, or as I like to call it, the Kabuti Dasher. If you can get that, especially for ranked next week, that'll be nice too. I know I'm gonna be pulling on it for sure, especially in as we get into the special pipe. We'll kind of talk a little bit about what's available there, but I think from our perspective of how do I allocate rubies, definitely if you can hold off until week 2, this is going to be your best by far. Getting into the special pipe. So in the special pipe, we have a lot of carts. It's kind of odd that they've put back-to-back special pipes be surrounded by carts, but it is what it is. This one's a little different from last tour. Here's why. They have mentioned specifically that these carts are in the spotlight. So not sure exactly what that means. My guess is that it's likely going to be a 4 high-end pipe. The reason 4 versus 5 is it does seem like they will have spotlights. They've mentioned spotlights in the data mining, and as always with my videos, spoiler alerts galore. I like to review the information that's sitting behind the data. These streamliners specifically, my guess is that they will both be spotlights, and there will be 2 additional carts that will be non-spotlights in this 50 pipe. So it's going to be essentially, pulling to maximize your odds. Go for what you can, get whatever you possibly can, reset, and hopefully get doubles and triples and be able to maximize that pipe. I know I'll be pulling tomorrow, and we'll know all those details when it comes to what's spotlight, what's not spotlight, and how to be able to maximize that pipe. But my guess is there will be 4 high ends, 2 spotlights, these 2 new carts, which actually, I mean, they look kind of cool, just like the general colors, but they do seem a little gaudy with all these decals. And I think we already have a lot of spotlight streamliners. So for what it's worth, if you like streamliners, definitely go into that pipe. I will say the blue one there, the decal streamliner with Jump Boost Plus is probably going to be the better between the 2. But the orange looks pretty sick. It's kind of got that Miami Dolphins color scheme going on. But I just think based on the skill, I kind of hope that I get a little bit more of that decal. But as for the other items in the pipe, I mean, the P-Wings are nice, but really other than that, I mean, the circuit specials aren't used that much. That green circuit special might be the best cart outside of the new carts that are in there. The pink wing had a little burst this past fall that it got at a lot of decent tracks, and it was kind of highlighted. But yeah, as part of the 100 pipe, there's a lot of these items like the circuit special, the B-Dasher, Pink Wing, P-Wing, that are part of the 100 pipe. So this may not be the best pipe. I still think week 2's pipe is going to be the better between the 2. But this one's great. I mean, my strategy. My goal is with my daily selects is to max out the carts first. And so this pipe is going to help me be able to do that. And I think it's definitely going to be a pipe. I'll probably pull on it. You'll see my video. But ideally, I mean, I'm going to be hopefully walking away with a lot of the green circuit. And maybe some of the different P-Wing, Pink Wing. Other than that, it'd be nice to get these new spotlights up. But I think the week 2 is where it's at. As for these packs, man, they're interesting. I thought I kind of might take this segment a different direction and kind of do a Sammy, even Puff, and everyone has been kind of highlighting stud or dud. So I might just kind of go through each one of these packs and just say, is this a stud or a dud? First, we got the Kabuki Dasher, the Kabuti Dasher, as I like to call it. Definitely a stud pack. This is a great cart. I actually, for all cup ranking, I use this cart a lot. With Mini Turbo Plus, it's a decent skill. I think a lot of people are really excited about Mini Turbo Plus. I think it's a decent skill. There's a lot of mini turbos in a lot of the tracks it has. I think, especially when you're thinking about Maple Treeway and a lot of the other tracks it has, I use it for all cup ranking a lot. And so if you don't have this pack and you got to get a pack, highly recommend this pack this week. It's the best between the two, because this other one, womp womp, it's a dud. I don't like Mario Classic. It's weird that they have a Mario with Triple Mushroom as a pack in addition to releasing a Mario Alt with Triple Mushroom, but whatever. I do kind of like the style. Just being a man of the 90s, I do like the Fire Flower design, kind of. But man, it's just, I don't know. It's just too much for nothing, in my opinion. I mean, I rarely use my classic Mario. As for next week, this Silver Star Chute, love this. This is definitely a stud. There's no doubt about that. This glider has been gradually rising since it was released in that special pipe. And then this Silver Cucumber, Iron Cucumber, it hasn't panned out to be a great cart. And then you got Metal Mario, who's in 100 pipes. He's in daily selects. If you can avoid that, so basically the 45 Ruby packs are where it's at this tour. Go get you some. It's those are pretty nice. Here's the one exciting part of, I mean, this is, I feel bad. Going through this pipe information and going through this episode pretty quickly. There's not a lot going on, but here's the exciting part. We have announced through the Twitter a Mario tour here that we're in right now. Then we have Yoshi tour, which is kind of interesting because last year we kind of had like a Yoshi with the around Easter, and we had like the eggshell, and we had a lot going on around Easter with Yoshi tour. That's when I started, so it's kind of nice to know that that's coming up. And then we have a tour after that. Now the tour after that is that's exciting. It kind of looks like Shanghai or Beijing or something in China related, but I'll get to here in a second. But the real reason I'm excited. But I kind of want to talk a little bit about this 1.5 years. So I think Nintendo said, hey, we got a Mario tour where literally it sounds like someone said, hey, we got to name this tour. What do we name it? We should name it. We should name it Racing. We should name it, Tokyo, whatever. And someone just said, all right, well, 3, 2, 1. And they literally decided to not even come up with a name. Said, well, just Mario Tour. Like, literally couldn't even be any less original than just the Mario Tour, but it is what it is. So they probably felt bad and said, hey, we should probably announce something or do something to get people excited so they all don't just quit the game. 1.5 year anniversary. So I know a lot of other games do 1.5 year. It is, hey, I'll take whatever Nintendo is willing to give us so that we have to stay away from these filler tours. But yes, we have a 1.5 year anniversary. So there's a lot of different changes going on here. We have deals in the token shop that we see in this tour, and a 2-player challenge. I'm not going to talk about that at all. I could care less. And if you enjoy it, good for you. But I'm not going to waste your time. There are some, I guess, starting in the Yoshi tour, we do have a login bonus. We have exciting tour gifts. Coins of Plenty event every day. How awesome is that? Now, as we are struggling with coins here, it's nice to know that we have Coins of Plenty every single day. That's going to be phenomenal. And you're going to have to want to log in every day. I mean, I have like a little side account that I do just for fun. And I'm going to have to actually play it every day. You should play it on just like Saturdays and Tuesdays. But yeah, every day. That's awesome. And we do have some challenges here for the 1.5 year anniversary, as well as also a snap a photo. I'm not going to talk about that at all, but there has been data mining as to like take a photo of this car hitting, or you take a photo of whatever. I'm going to struggle through that. I'm going to hate doing each one of those photos, but it is what it is. It's going to be available. And more importantly, some rewards for those who like free stuff. And then drivers are now offered as a reward for moving up to a higher tier. This part will be exciting. This actually might be content I review, because it does look like from data mining that there are pipes, and it looks like it's in the ticket area. So maybe if you move up a tier, you get a gold pipe, and you get to pull in that pipe, and it might be something from the 100 pipe, which might explain why some of these pipes now seem to be pretty stable. Most likely, at least from my optimistic viewpoint, we get something from those 100 pipes that are permanent from that. And if you don't tier up, you still get a little green pipe just so that you don't quit the game. and said that she don't complain to Nintendo. So looks like no matter what, every week we will get something else new, which is nice. You tier up. It keeps those people who have this odd strategy to get 10th and then 3rd and then 10th place and then 1st, and it gets those people wanting to tier up every week, which is good. You know, you get a free high end. That'll be nice. I'm pretty confident at least about that. You know, it looks like they are now offered. So maybe it's from that tour going forward, or maybe it's just for that tour. Either way, data mining has shown that there are pipes available that you can pull. It looks like in the kind of the ticket area. Now getting to the question mark tour. One thing I kind of wanted to point out here is there's this little, it kind of looks like an onion, but it looks like it also could be like a little garlic loaf, clove, whatever you want to call it. One of the things that I wanted to point out here is that it seems like from people taking the outside perspective, we might have a new driver, Wario-Man. This gets me excited. For those who have played Smash Brothers Brawl, there's like this, like I have the game, so, and I love it. I love all Smash Brothers. But there's like this little super move thing that you can activate, and Wario is actually in that game. He's kind of like a biker style looking guy. But then when he activates that, he turns into this garlic loving Wario called Wario-Man. And he has a very exclusive move, and it's very cool to watch him do that. So there's a little speculation. Now, of course, it could just be no tie to a garlic whatsoever, and just be, you know, a normal China-themed tour. But I don't know. It definitely looks exciting regardless. Whether we have Wario-Man or not, this will be much better than a Mario tour. So I will take it and be excited about it. So definitely something to look forward to as we get into April. Good. Awesome. Moving forward, we have finally who got buffed. So, you know, I know when it came to the buffs this tour, there's never been this many buffs. In fact, it's definitely something to be surprised about as to why so many people got buffed. It is what it is. I think from this perspective, we're definitely excited to see those buffs. There's a lot of items that are seeing good buffs. Items that have been relatively new. We've seen a lot of good stuff. Apologize about the jumping of the slides. Seems to be a delay in my computer. But I think overall, the main point is we have a lot of buffs. We have a lot of drivers, karts, and gliders that are getting a lot of new tracks. Now, Marco did a phenomenal job of identifying specifically when it came to the new tracks that were buffed, which ones are cities and which ones are not. We kind of treat them a little differently. We have a number of cities in the top right corner that are in red, and so as you see here, these Tokyo Blur tracks in red, just to kind of identify which drivers got tracks that we might see rotate much more frequently versus a Tokyo Tour specific track. And who knows, you know, we might see cities later this year. It could become a lot more frequent. We saw it with Paris, but you know, until then, we'll just kind of keep discounting them a little bit. So you saw Pauline Rose and Penguin Toad both see 3 new tracks. Nice to see Penguin Toad got 2 tracks that are not cities, so that's good for him. But he's obviously brand new. Nice to see him at 10 tracks. That's pretty decent for non-city tracks. Cat Peach, Cat Toad both got 2 new tracks, and then here's my favorite additions. King Boo Gold and Lakitu Party Time both got 2 new tracks. 1 city, 1 non-city. Definitely for me, you know, I think this was the clincher. This was the straw that broke the camel's back on finally going full in on King Boo Gold. I waited last week. I was thinking about it with Vanilla Lake, but because it's such a short track, I didn't think it was wise to put a ticket on for just that reason versus maybe a Bowser Santa or, you know, another Coinbox driver. This week went all in. In fact, I might even take a stab at that top 10, or at least just give a nice college try when it comes to just trying to maximize the tracks that are out there. This is a tour with a lot of short tracks with, as we mentioned, Tokyo Blur being a short track if you saw the strat of the week. But for King Boo Gold, nice to see him up to 16 non-city tracks. That's phenomenal. And then Lakitu Party Time, my boy, you know I love the guy. He now has 18 non-city tracks. Moved up to number 2. You can see there in the top left corner, number 2 on our top 10 list, which we'll get to here in a second. But that is awesome. It's good to see, you know, any of these drivers that move into the top 10. Just, you know, I don't know, number 9, number 8. It's definitely on a watch list. It's good to know. And as we move things to level 7, that's the key, is investing as wisely as possible. We got Fire Rosalina also got 2 new tracks, which makes sense. Both of those are non-cities, which is good to know. Then we have a lot of drivers. They got 1 track that, man, it's just so many drivers got 1 track. But most of them very positive. I will say when it comes to Peach Halloween, Peach Explorer, and Bowser Santa, each got one track that's not a city. So good for them. You know, we have, man, Peach Explorer up to 22 tracks, non-cities. That's phenomenal. Bowser Santa, everyone loves him. Both of those drivers have 0 cities. Great for them. Both solid drivers. But we get to one of my other guys, Nabbit. Just took him to just double and capped him, level 7. He's now number 4 on the list. You can see that right there. That's exciting. He's up to 20 tracks that are non-cities, 4 cities there, obviously because of Tokyo Blur. I'm using him twice in rank this week. He is a monster. If you didn't get him last tour, you're definitely kicking yourself because he's a beast right now. Days Yukata, now 17 non-city tracks. You have Mario Classic, 14 non-city. Mario Happy, Funky. Funky has 16 tracks, decent right there, alongside Builder Toad with the same. But both of them, I mean, if you see Mario Happy, Funky Kong, Builder Toad, each with 5 city tracks, that's a decent amount. And we have Builder Luigi with 18 non-city tracks, 3 cities. Metal Mario, 14 non-cities, and Peach Wintertime, 14 non-cities. Mario SNES, 15 non-cities, but 4 cities there. And then Builder Mario, 14 non-city tracks. So some decent buffs there. That's a lot. Now, if you want to get your eyes scrambled, let's get to who got buffed with the Karts. Man, so many buffs. We'll start with which Karts got buffed with 3 new tracks. And we'll start with these 2. I did say, you know, I think when looking back at who is going to take the baton from the Rose Queen as the next Rose Queen for 2021, I tossed out the idea for Dreamy Egg. I love the Kart. It looks beautiful, and with as much investment that Nintendo has been making into Rainbow Roads, wouldn't surprise me if this is the one that takes the lead here. But we now have 15 non-city tracks for this Dreamy Egg. We also have this Black Penguin slider, which is new. Get 3 new tracks, which is good, but not surprising with a brand new Kart there. As for the Karts that got 2 new tracks, yeah, we have the Cacti, which is a new, and also the Cat Cruiser. Both of them in permanent pipes, and both relatively new from the last few tours. They both got 2 new tracks, which is nice to see. But you can't deny. You don't want to take anything away from this Crawley Kart. I think a lot of people. Shout out to Wootmoo. I know he's been a big fan, a big supporter, but I think a lot of people have been. It's a popular kart. It was the #1 Streamliner kart and number 20 on our list last week. The Crawley Kart has officially broke the top 10, number 10 on our list, and that's due to these 2 new tracks. Up to 17 non-city tracks, 2 city. I mean, if you haven't already, ticket this kart. It's a good kart. It's definitely love the kart. If you're good at slipstreaming, it's a solid kart for you there with that Slipstream Plus. Go for it. It's not gonna let you down. And then we have the Cucumber get 1 new track with 10 total tracks, which is decent for a super. Yeah, this Fast Frank, which has been it's been a hot kart. I know Comchoose loves the dad joke, so it's not just rising the charts fast, but it's also a hot Kart there. We have the green circuit with 15 city tracks or non-city tracks. 9 cities. It's a lot of cities. I don't remember seeing 9 very often on this list, but there we go. Green circuit, 2 new tracks there. Iron Cucumber, another popular city kart. It almost has as many cities as the other non-city tracks with 7 total. 7 total city tracks, 11 non-city, with a total of 18. That's just a lot of cities taking up so many tracks for it. But we'll see. You know, maybe this year we'll see a lot more cities sprinkled in which case we'll see its value get boosted up there. Penguin Slider, 13 non-city tracks. Red Taxi, 12 non-city. Rose Taxi, so some taxis getting some buffs here. Also with 12 non-city tracks. And then Wild Pink, 10 non-city, 4 cities. I have a hard time even going through these, but I want to maybe, you know, you can feel free to take a look at this, but I just kind of want to point out a couple. You know, Bandwagon, now number 11 on our list. It's always been kind of right there outside the top 10. Not a lot of tracks, but it continues to see some favoritism from Nintendo, so it's good to see the number 11 on our list. The Black Dozer and Party Wing, number 8 and 6 respectively. Saw 1 new track there. That Black Dozer, 19 non-city tracks. You gotta like that. Black Ibuki Dasher, as we mentioned with the pack, that's one of our stud packs there. Now up to 16 non-cities, 5 cities there. It's a great card there. As for the rest of it, I mean, we have the Pumpkin card get a new track. It's number 14 on our list, and I mean, really everything else is okay to see. But overall, there's just so many buffs this tour. It's really hard to get a gauge. I mean, it's a good thing that we present this to you and we put this together, but just so much going on. As for the gliders that got 3 new tracks, it's nice to see so many get 3. This is actually very surprising. We rarely see this many get 3 new tracks. I mean, you saw just in the last when it comes to drivers and carts, yeah, you know, just maybe 1 or 2 get multiple outside of, you know, get 3 or plus tracks. But this is a lot. I mean, we have a total of 7 gliders get 3 or more tracks. That's unheard of. But the ones to mainly point out, I mean, the Dry Browser Umbrella. I love this glider. I've kind of been thinking about it the way of Dragon Wings of 2021. It's a great glider. 3 new tracks there. That's phenomenal. I just took it to level 6 myself. Let the game take it to 7. You know how I play. And then the Silver Star Shoot. That's one I really want to point out too. A total of 16 non-city tracks, 4 cities. Number 14 on our list is a great glider. As I already mentioned, it's a stud as well. Some other buffs, you know, you have the 2021 glider, which hasn't been as glorified as the 2020 glider as you saw last year. That was pretty popular, always part of ranked, it seemed. This 2021 glider hasn't been as popular. I would almost say the Super Mario Kart glider got a lot more love and has been almost kind of the themed paywalled glider. If you are free to play, you probably don't have that at all. In fact, actually, you don't have it because that's kind of your thing. But it's nice to see 3 new tracks there. Other than that, it's, you know, it's a lot of the new gliders seeing some buffs, which is to be explained. But it's nice to see, specifically the Dry Bowser Umbrella. It looks like this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, continuing to see those buffs. Then we have Full Flight, Rose Parasol, and a Spider Glider, all getting 2 new tracks. Spider Glider actually surprisingly sneaky with 17 total new tracks. If you like the crawly cart, it's not a bad one to invest in. And then you got a lot of gliders getting 1 new track. Again, you know, we've never seen this many buffs, so I'll kind of speed through it, but I'm going to point out that Daisy Glider, just a solid, sneaky glider that everyone seems to enjoy. I mean, everything else I'm kind of probably breeze through. The Jolly Bells, though, now with 15 non-city tracks, 2 cities there. The Penguin Wingtip, I love this this glider. It seems to be actually kind of buffed very, very slowly every single tour. But it's nice to see that there. Everything else, you know, it just seems to be relatively regular type of buffing there. But that's who got buffed. Now to a lot of people's favorites, the top 10 Want to just kind of reiterate the algorithm. I want to spend a couple seconds here because I know I speed through this normally. It's really important to talk about the top 10 and what it is and what it isn't. I'll start with what it isn't. I see a lot of tier lists, and I'm not a big fan of tier lists. And I mentioned this on Carlos's stream. If you don't follow Carlos, definitely check him out. I'm not a big fan of tier lists. A lot of people just put together these tier lists, and that it's their opinion, and that's cool. And it's always fun talking about tier lists because it's different people's opinion. We can argue and go back and forth. It's compelling. It's a good conversation. But for me, I like to go with the data, and that's why I've partnered with Tabor and basically leveraged all of his algorithms, all of his data to put together this top 10. And I remember reaching out to him, basically trying to kind of articulate how we want to put this together, and we've tweaked the data. But man, this top 10 list is a great way for you to understand from a meta level perspective what's happening in the game with really 3 criteria. One being the skill, and the skill being really, really favored towards the driver, less so with the kart and glider. But really, that's just one part of this this algorithm. The biggest part is the value of the coverage. That's really, if you think about it, that's about 40% of this number when it comes to the drivers, and over 50% for the karts and gliders. So what does that mean, right? So that's the coverage of how many tracks it has, and then also if you see that weighted coverage value, that's also how many other items it shares that top 10 or that top tier with. So meaning that if it only shares that top tier with only 2 or 3 other items, then it's going to have a higher point value in this algorithm. And for the drivers it's 20%, and for the karts and gliders it's 27. So a lot of value is in the coverage, and that seems to be the most important. We also take into consideration if it's been involved in ranked, which I think is very important too. Nintendo does like to favor these and be able to bring things back. Many of the times it's what people have. Nintendo doesn't want to just have. I think that their theme and their general process is to have a new track and feature on that new track items that most people don't have. They're usually stuff from that week 100 pipe, which I usually don't pull on because it's not very good value. But usually they have like one of those drivers, karts, and gliders as this. So it kind of restricts people to just have a lower levels type of stuff. And then usually they bring back these other tracks. And most of these other tracks, though, this is where they keep bringing stuff back. If you look in this week, Airship Fortress, we just had it. It seems like Nintendo likes to be able to bring stuff back that people are familiar with and people like, and from that perspective, it does seem to be a little recycled. But the main point is that when it comes to this top 10 list, and I just want to review again what it is and what it isn't. Tier lists are fun, other people do. This is not a tier list. This is a top 10. This is not just a end all be all, like this is the only thing you should invest in, but this is just a general guide to help you understand, in the meta level strategy, who are some great investments. For me specifically, when it comes to taking things from level 6 to level 7, I'm focusing almost exclusively on what's on this list. And mainly because I have to prioritize. I can't take everything to 7. For me, it's about maximizing coverage. It's about maximizing what's on ranked. And you'll also notice as things break the top 10, they continue to rise. There's been a couple times where we've had stuff pop in and pop out, which is fine. But if something's on this list for multiple weeks, they're great items to invest in. I remember specifically as we get into the drivers, I remember when Peach Wedding first broke in, I think that was the LA tour, and Lakitu Party Time broke in 3 or 4 tours ago, and it's continued to climb. So from that perspective, anything you see in this list, solid to invest in. I think there hasn't always been a lot of movement. You've seen some stuff climb into this list and then fall back out. Not a problem. There's still anything that's really been on this list for more than 2 or 3 tours. Great to invest in because they still have some solid value. Now, When we look at the top 10 drivers, we have Peach Wedding still holding the queen of the top 10. Then my boy Lakitu Party Time, number 2 on our list. It moved up from 3 to 2. It's great to see that. Obviously, big buffing this tour. Dry Bones Gold, arguably still the best Coinbox driver. Now number 3 on our list. We'll see if he continues to drop. He used to be number 1 a few tours ago, but it's ironic as we get to Nabbit and then Mario Chef, and we also have Mario Halloween. This is the first time where we've had equal amounts of Coinbox drivers and Lucky 7 drivers in our top 10, which is crazy to think about. That, I mean, we really only had one Lucky 7 for a long time, one Lucky 7 driver on this top 10, but it's so great to see so many. It's nice to see the skills being diversified outside of just Coinbox. I mean, Coinbox is still arguably the best, but I mean, now we have Lucky 7. I mean, especially with this skill plus. I mean, a lot of people are arguing that Lucky 7 is better than Coinbox, which might be the case. It's really dependent on how you use it. But it's nice to see there's now 4 Coinbox drivers and 4 Lucky 7 drivers in our top 10. This is unprecedented and exciting to see that on this list. We have Pink Gold Peach moved down 1. Black Yoshi sticking at that 7 there. And then we have King Boo Gold broke our top 10. We knew this would happen. You know, I think being a gold pass gift, we knew his value was there, especially with all the Maple Treeways and his value even with Merry Mountain. Now has gotten some serious love. If you are using him for ranked or for all cup ranking this tour, you are loving it. Shout out to Knights. I know he is a huge fan of King Boo and has been from day one, and we knew this day was coming. He's number 8 on our list. I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to climb up. I think he might be our number 2 Coinbox driver here in just a few tours. Great investment if you have to invest in somebody, especially for Airship Fortress. I mean, there's just so much value in that track for ranked. I mean, you could be in the 40s and definitely in the 30s when it comes to getting that scores up. That's where the bulk of your points are going to come this week. As I mentioned, Mario Halloween, he's kind of hovered in this really the top 15, so that 10 to 15 spot actually for most of the year. You've heard me mention him every week, but never necessarily in the top 10. He breaks the top 10. We'll see if he continues to climb. We always were skeptical because he had ties to Halloween being a holiday driver. But with Lucky 7, he's been involved. He's been sneaky, but if you've been paying attention, it hasn't been that sneaky. He's had some serious value. And then Peach Wedding getting a little knock there, down to number 10 on our list. As for 11 through 15, you heard Peach Explorer. She's got a lot of tracks. She's number 11 on our list. Penguin Luigi, a former top I think 2, is where he peaked out at. Now number 12 on our list. Gold Cup Free Running, solid Coinbox driver, 13. Rosalina Swimwear at 14. Pauline Party Time, number 15. So a lot of Coinbox drivers in that top 15, which isn't to be surprising. Coinbox is obviously very overpowered OP there for you. When it comes to Karts, a lot of things staying the same. We have the top 3 that have been top 3, mainly because they've been paywalled. You got the Happy Ride, Rose Queen, Wild Black, holding it down. These guys have been pretty consistent, and then Off-Roader and Macaroon. These top 5 have stayed this way. You've heard me say it every week. It's been pretty consistent there. We have the Party Wing, which jumped into our top 10. It stayed there. I mentioned them being. I mentioned specifically the Party Wing being the new Rose Queen for 2021, and here it is. It's staying here. I highly recommend investing in this card. I know for my Gold Pass only account, this one's crushing it. It seems to be ranked very, very frequently. Gilded King, my personal favorite, Black and Yellow. Love this card, and it's been I've been kind of saying that Gilded King and Black Dozer are the Wild Black of 2021. Here they are, man. That video seems to be hitting true here, as all of these items seem to be pretty stagnant, staying there and holding down their position. As for the final two positions, it's nice to see some movement. Otherwise, it's a pretty uneventful list here. But Fast Frank fastly rising to the top here. It's now number 9. It's a great cart. Looks great. So I do think Nintendo does seem to favor the items that have an aesthetically pleasing look and people are excited to use. Crawley Cart, no exception. You know, it's jumped up 10 spots. As I mentioned, it was 20 last time. Awesome card, seems to be ranked almost every other week. It's a phenomenal card. Definitely invest in it if you're able to, or if you've been waiting for some reason. Definitely invest in it. I've seen a lot of people even double uncap it just because of its just pure coverage. But nice to see it's overcoming its little skill. Again, you know, the skill only for the cards only I think accounts for 12%, so it's not a huge. But I mean, when you have so many that outnumber it. It is hard to climb this list. So the fact that it's number 10 is a huge accomplishment, and definitely invest in it if you have to. Badwagon, number 11 on our list, as I mentioned. Sweet Day Tripper, a few former top 10. Head Honcho, number 13. I'm not a big fan, but a lot of other people really love that cart. Pumpkin Cart, number 14. And then Blue Soda. Man, Blue Soda has dropped. Used to be a pretty consistent number 6 on our list, but has fallen to number 15. You also don't see the Gilded Prancer on this list. I just kind of mentioned that because it used to be a top 10 months ago. Hasn't been in the top 10 since. A lot of people invest in it because it's Jump Boost Plus, which is wise. I think that's one of the reasons I've been kind of contemplating about going for top 10, is that so many people use tickets last tour just getting caught up on things. And Gilded Prancer was one of those that was incorporated and ranked quite a lot. And so from that perspective, you know, I think a lot of people have investment there. For me, the way I'm treating level 7 is to focus on these items and put tickets on these items first, if at all possible. Because I do have to prioritize. You can't take everything to 7. Now for, finally, the top 10 gliders. Man. Dragon Wings, number 1 for, months on end. I don't see that falling from that number 1 spot anytime soon. Gold Crane, Strawberry Donut, and Gold Glider sticking out those other top 4 spots pretty consistently there. Hasn't been a lot of movement. Super Mario Kart Glider. This seems to be like the 2020 glider of 2021. Not the 2021 glider, but this Super Mario Kart Glider jumping up 3 spots. We've just had some Mario Circuit tracks be a part of ranked and be much more involved, so that's most likely why it got that big buff. And then Gold Swooper did fall down 1. Still a solid coin glider there though. Royal Parachute, it's been with as much movement as we've seen in these top 10 items. This one's just sneaky and just sticking around, and it's probably the most boring of the top 10 gliders that we've had on this list, but it's holding it down, man. You can't take anything away from that. You can't deny its value. 8-Bit Star up 4 spots to number 8, so it's in the top 10 again. I'm not surprised by this one bit. Now that's part of this permanent pipe. Definitely a great glider to focus in on and also invest in. Starshoot fell 3 spots. That's kind of surprising. I know a lot of people wanted to take that to level 7, and just as a coin glider, definitely a decent glider, but it seems to be slipping. And I mean, to be honest with you, I'll probably see it slipping even more. Sunset Balloons up 4. That's huge. You know, when I talked about what the next Dragon Wings could be, Sunset Balloons was on the list. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, I don't have it, so I really hope it's brought back. But up 4 spots, now number 10 on our list. I think this is the first time we've seen it on the top 10, so exciting there. Daisy Glider, former top 10, still holding down at number 11. Break Glider, 12. Chocolate Donut, 13. We were sneaky. I think we were thinking maybe we could see 2 donuts in the top 10, which we don't normally see reskins both in the top 10, but it never made it. It's number 13 on our list. Silver Star Shoot, number 14. I expect this to climb, most likely probably 11, 10, maybe even next tour. Seems to be extremely valuable, a great pack to get for next week. And then Jolly Bells, the new coin glider, definitely want to invest in for sure, if given the choice. Now here's a little segment I heard from a lot of people. This was helpful. I will say, just with a grain of salt, so a lot of these items are newer items that are a part of tracks twice. So if as you know, Tokyo Blur 4 is there twice, Tokyo Blur R is there twice, Tokyo Blur T is there twice. So a lot of these items are new, and that's one of the reasons why, like, say, Mario Racer has 10 tracks, is because he's just he's got really 6 tracks there that so almost when you think about it, he may only have a couple tracks, 6 tracks or whatever, but they're doubled up, so that's why he has so many. But it's important to know, because you think about, like, say, Mario Swimmer. I had no idea he had 7 tracks. That's a lot of tracks for a driver that isn't in a pack or in any pipes. It's just kind of seems kind of random, but it's, I think, if you're going for all cup ranking, this is a guy that could potentially help you get there. You got Black Yoshi, Peach Wedding, Nabbit, and Shy Guy Gold, each with 6 there, and King Bob-omb as well. And then when you look at the Karts, no surprise when it comes to the 3 new ones, all have 8 tracks there. You get the Kabuki Dasher. I know I specifically want to be able to take this to 7 because it is huge for all cup ranking. It could really help if you're going there, especially a part of ranked as well. Definitely something to invest in for week 2. B-Dasher, Pirate, Sushi Racer, Gold Pipe Frame, Gold Cheap Snorkel, all with 6, and then you have also the Super One, the Super Kart, with 6 as well. Then you got Baby Mario Hanafuda with 9. You have the 8-bit Fire Flower and the Cape Mario Hanafuda with 8. The Gold Glider with 7. That's actually what I'm actually probably going to be taking it to a double cap for this very reason. And then you also the Rainy Balloons with 7 as well. Then you got the Snow Crystals, Super Mario Kart Glider, and 8-bit Jumping Mario with 6. So let me know if this helps you out. Again, these are not an end-all be-all. Don't necessarily focus on investing on these unless you need it for all cup ranking, which now with the rewards for getting over, was it like 600,000 points, investing in these might go a long way. So if you're struggling to get there, maybe investing in something, say, like a Gold Glider, it's going to be crucial now, especially as a daily select. Taking it there might be able to get you a couple thousand extra points to be able to get you those bonuses. But something definitely to look at if you're going for all cup ranking. Then finally, what tracks are a part of ranked? We kind of go through these. Definitely take the time to be able to review these on your own. But it's kind of just, I like to be able to kind of focus in on what's a part of level 6. You get the Lederhosen. I'm surprised he didn't get he didn't get necessarily a big buff this tour, but it's nice to see him level 6 on SNES Mario Circuit. But really, between this week and next week, we have a lot of options with skills. We have Mario Kama with Coinbox. We have Pit Crew Toad with the Boombox. And then we have, Lucky 7 with Nabbit. We just have so many skills. Even next week, we got Sunshine Mario with Giant Banana. So a lot of options. It's kind of fun to see and explore what's. It's not just Coinbox every week, and who has the most single. I almost kind of called ranked single box ranked, because it basically came down to who could get the most single boxes in addition to Coinbox frenzies. But nice to see some variety. I think that in this 2021 we'll start to see a lot more of that. It's just variety of skills and incorporations. It's nice to see Pit Crew Toad. Might even see Boomerang Bro or some other boombox or boomerang type of drivers incorporated in ranked. So we'll see how that plays out. But as of right now, it's nice to see some variety as we look into week 2. Mario Racing, obviously at level 6, you can get Tokyo Blur for RT. Just interesting to see an RT in there, but it's nice to have. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I will say for Rainbow Road, that's going to be a huge track. That's going to carry you to ranked or not. So it's really important to know if you don't have a lot of those great drivers. I mean, really, it's going to come down to the King Boo Gold or Rosalina Swimwear. I mean, those are going to be the Coinbox drivers you're probably going to rely on. But if for some reason you don't have those, you know, baby Peach, you can get at level 6. That's good to know as well. Huge track. It's probably going to be the most coveted track there for sure. Got Yellow Taxi at level 6. You can get on Rainbow Road, and Gold Glider at level 6. So again, another one to invest in for sure, to at least get to level 6, and maybe even up from there. The rest of the short tracks, I mean, it's really going to come. It's very similar to this week. You know, we have Airship Fortress. Next week we got Rainbow Road. Those are going to be your tracks. Those are going to be what you're focusing on. Feel free to reference these if you are looking to invest and try to be able to get those Karts and Glider tickets for ranked. So that's all I got, guys. This is the rundown. Feel free to comment below if you disagreed with anything, if you feel like there should be tweaks to the top 10, or any other adjustments. But I love talking with you guys. Again, thanks to Marco for putting this together. Feel free to check out Sammy D's channel, The Kart Life, or Carlos. I follow them. I watch every time that they put something out. It's hard to keep up with Carlos, but I love their content. So that's all I got. Enjoy the rest of this Mario tour, this filler tour, and as always, go with the data instead of going with your heart. But good luck, guys.